Hi, everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today I'm talking about the movie Insidious, The Red Door. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you have not seen the movie yet, you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. So, Insidious, The Red Door is the fifth movie overall in the Insidious franchise, the third movie of the original, not including the prequels, I suppose. In this movie, the young man from the first two films goes off to college and starts experiencing some more issues with the red lipstick demon, the Insidious world, whatever it's called. I don't know. So anyway, what I liked about this movie is the cast. Patrick Wilson was great. So there's a performance. Overall, his performance is great, but there's one scene in particular where he's like at the doctor's office and kind of freaking out. That was really good. Or maybe not the doctor's office, wherever. It was good. I like Ty Simpkins a lot. And here is the kid. It was one of those things where I'm like, I know that name. I've seen that kid. I don't remember. He's the little kid from the Iron Man and Avengers Endgame. He was like the little kid who's like supposed to from Iron Man 3. Who like helps him out and stuff. Yeah, he was in a bunch of other stuff too. Revolutionary Road, I think, and some other stuff. But yeah, Rose Byrne was good in this as well. And I really liked Sinclair Daniel as Chris. It's the first thing I've seen her in, but she was great. I really liked that character a lot. She was really fun. And anytime she was on screen, I was like, yeah, let's go more of her for sure. I really like the opening credits, the sketches they had, just the overall quality and the drawings I thought were really good. I like the style and looking at him going like, wow, if this kid's really 18, he's drawing like that. He is very talented. This has the skill of a very talented artist who's been doing this for a long time, which is, I assume, who actually did draw them. But yeah, I like the style. I like the drawings. I always like drawings. I always like to see them. And I like to see interesting credit sequences. And to me, drawings or animations are always interesting. So I enjoyed that. I really like the funeral scene. The way it opens up, there's this sort of reverse shot of the crucifix, the cross on the tombstone. And I just like the way that it was shot, and the cinematography there I thought was interesting and it was cool. You see it in the trailer, I think. And I really liked sort of the way that the exposition was handled in the movie, especially in that funeral scene, because I'm sitting there going, wait, whose funeral is this? And they show the picture. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her. Who is she again? And it's like, oh yeah, that's their grandma. But wait, who's? And they used it with dialogue where they're like, oh yeah, your mother died. She's like, okay, that's his mom. Cool, I got it. I know where we are. I know what's going on. That's his wife. They got divorced. Cool. I thought all that worked for the most part, at least at the beginning. I thought there was some cool sound design too. There were some parts where like, creepy stuff would happen. You kind of hear it off in the speakers behind you, or it would kind of move around a little bit. And whenever horror movies do that, I always appreciate that. And I'm starting to notice that more and more. I don't know if that's something they've always done and just theaters didn't have the capability of representing it correctly or not. But yeah, anytime I see them, using that and kind of pushing the genre, I suppose, is always good. I thought the cinematography overall on this was really good. And I actually mostly overall really liked the direction. I was really impressed with Patrick Wilson's direction. This is his directorial debut, and yeah, a lot of the shots were really framed well. I thought the camera moved well. I really liked there's a shot with the CT scanner or MRI scanner that I thought was just framed really interesting. I like the way that, it was framed properly, but still I liked it. I thought it was good, and I really liked that scene. I thought it was really creepy and weird, and the way the guy kind of burst in and the way they built up the atmosphere and the tension and everything, I thought really worked, and I really enjoyed that scene a lot. Overall, I thought the soundtrack was good. There were some good songs in there. I don't remember what song it is now, but the song he puts on when he's driving with his car, with his kid in the car, it's a good song. I liked it. It was a jam. I forget what song it is. It's a classic, rock and roll kind of song. And his kid, of course, didn't care about it. But that was good. Like I said, overall, I thought the direction was good. I really liked the concept of this too. I think on the original movie, and particularly the second movie, this idea that like the dad attacked their kids and then they had to wipe their memory so they would kind of forget about it, but like the way that they're traumatized by it and the effect that it has not only on the kids but on him as well. I think it's actually a really interesting concept and a really interesting idea. And it's funny because I definitely saw the first movie. I feel like I don't remember the second movie. I was just talking to a friend who said we saw it together, so I guess we did. But I don't remember it that well, which is funny. I almost should go back and watch it. But yeah, I actually thought the ending on this was fine. It was maybe a little too happy, again, this is a spoiler review, but basically, at the end, it looks like maybe him and his wife are going to get back together, which honestly, I kind of wanted that to happen. And we got the whole thing with Lin Shaye reappears as a ghost or whatever. I don't exactly know, but like, it's a little goofy, but whatever. I like a happy ending. I'm a sappy sucker. So yeah. As far as what I didn't like about the movie, I really liked Ty Simpkins. I thought he was good. I loved his roommate. I even didn't mind the frat kids as much, although admittedly, I didn't love the stuff with the frat as much, Nick the Dick and all that kind of stuff. But the younger brother just kind of annoyed me. And it's not even like his performance was bad. It was fine, but I just don't like teenage boys. I think he was just annoying. And I'm like, and luckily he's not in it much, but every time he came on screen, I was like, this kid, no, no. They didn't really do much with the little sister, which again, I'm happy with. I feel like I'm always mean for like judging kids' performances, but I don't like kids in horror movies. Like, get them out of here, man. Unless you want to do Goosebumps or something, that's fine. Or Are You Afraid of the Dark or whatever. But if I'm going to watch a horror movie, I want it to be adults. I want there to be swearing and nudity and drugs and not kids. I think there's way too many jump scares in this movie. This movie is basically all the scares, and most of the scares are just jump scares, which is fine. It's kind of cheap, and I won't say that they don't work on me, although I feel like they usually don't, because you can kind of tell when they're coming. But sometimes they might get me. And like I said, I really like the MRI machine one. That was kind of a jump scare, but I like the way they built it up and the way that it went and everything. And I did think that kind of memory game thing he was doing was interesting. It looks cool. It works. They put it in the trailer. It's a cool, creepy kind of scene. But then they didn't really do anything with it. They had this cool setup, but then like I was expecting, something to come bursting through or something to happen. And they kind of just like, okay. And I really liked the beginning of this movie. I thought the first like 20 minutes or so were pretty interesting. And I was really impressed with Patrick Wilson's direction, but then the middle just kind of got a little boring for me. And I think maybe it's just, again, because I'm older now. And so I don't care so much about kids in college. But yeah, all the stuff in the frat and all that kind of stuff, like didn't really do much for me. There's not enough of the scary guy, the lipstick demon or the red-faced demon or the lipstick man, whatever they call him. He's a cool look, creepy dude, but they didn't really use him much. And I kind of expected more. And I think the biggest issue of this movie is it's very cliche. It just seems like a lot of the stuff that happens is stuff that you've seen in other movies before. A lot of the jump scares you've seen before. Just the art stuff, the fact that this tortured artist has got these demons inside him is something I've seen several times before. The whole strict professor who's like, you got to tear up your favorite piece of art to prove your thing. Again, it's just like, I feel like I've seen all this before, and it was fine. Actually, the weird thing is it worked for me, even though it was all cliche and I'd seen it before. The roommate mix up, again, it's been done in several movies where, oh no, it's a girl who's got a male sounding name, they accidentally put her in my room. And again, it wasn't really a major plot point to the movie. Like they could have gotten introduced in some other way. They could have just been friends from school who went to school together. So I don't know. They could have come up with something else. But yeah, stuff again. I think just overall, the movie very much reminds me of the Evil Dead movie recently, where it seemed like it was just a combination of things you've seen in better movies before, unfortunately. So other than that, the movie is directed by Patrick Wilson, like I said, directorial debut. I actually thought he did a really good job, and I'm curious to see more, at least at the beginning. I think he's got talent. He's got some what's the word I'm looking for? That thing, what I'm talking about. And so I'm curious to see where he goes from here. But potential. That's the word I was looking for. He's got potential. It was written by Leigh Whannell, or at least I think he did the story by, and the script is actually by Scott Teems. Leigh Whannell has done a bunch of stuff. He wrote all the Saw movies. He was actually in the first Saw movie. He's the guy who's not Carrie Ellis in the bathroom. I think he wrote and directed Upgrade, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I think he directed that. And he did the Invisible Man movie with the crazy Scientologist girl, the remake from a couple years ago. Scott Teems, looks like his credits are Halloween Kills and the Firestarter remake, and that's about it. I think Halloween Kills, I think, is the second one of the new trilogy, and I think I actually like that one better than the other movies in the trilogy, which I didn't like it that much, but I really didn't like the other one. So, and we got Lin Shaye in this, which this is not a New Line movie, I don't think, but she was always in all of the New Line movies because her brother, I think, Robert Shaye, I should have looked it up, was the producer, so she's in a lot of those. But yeah, she's in all these movies as well. She died a while back, but she's still in this one. She was in the prequel they did. They do some archival footage or whatever with her, and then they also do the kind of thing at the end with her. Oh God, there's a song they play at the end, and I walked out. So there's a post credit scene, and I usually look to see, and I'm like, nah, this movie's not gonna have a post credit scene. I'm not gonna bother. And so I got up and I walked out, and I heard the song playing at the end, and I was like, man, this is terrible. Whatever song this is a terrible song. This sucks. This is like as bad as the song at the end of Man Called Otto. And I found out later it's by the band Ghost, who I'm not really a big fan of, and Patrick Wilson is singing on it. Maybe I'm not sure. It's "Stay" by Ghost featuring Patrick Wilson, whatever that means. I didn't listen to the whole thing, just enough as I was walking out, but it was a terrible song, in my opinion. I did not like that at all. Yeah, apparently there is a post-credit scene. I didn't see it, but I guess the light above the red door begins to flicker, implying that maybe they'll be making more of these, and they probably will, because the movie had a box office. It's made $64 million so far worldwide. I think like 32 million in the US off a $16 million budget. So it's quadrupled its budget. It's definitely made money. It's probably made them at least $30 million so far. So yeah, they're feeling good. They're looking good. They'll be making more of these. Rotten Tomatoes on this one is definitely one where there's a split between the critics and the audience. The critics are at 35%, the audience is at 71%. So big difference, but it happens a lot, especially with horror movies. I think horror fans are pretty forgiving, and at the end of the day, they want to be scared, they want to feel creeped out and weird. And I guess the movie did it. I will say the audience mostly seemed to like this movie. They laughed quite a bit, at the scenes they were supposed to laugh at. And I did hear some people, saying like they liked it and they thought it was a good movie. So, hey, me personally though, it's one of those disappointing movies where I really liked the beginning and I was like really into it. I was like, finally, yes, a horror movie that I like. It's been so long since I've seen one. I think Smile was maybe the last one that I liked. And then to watch it kind of fall apart and to watch all that potential just go away was disappointing. So yeah, I think my score on this one's going to be a 6 out of 10. Thought it was okay, not terrible, but just wasted opportunity, which I think I said in the last review too. But yeah, so I don't know. But if you saw the movie, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night. I will see you here again next week.